is AEW successful? Why is Tony Khan running his promotion better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are running Monday night and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for stopping by the channel today. I got a little bit of extra for you. It is January 10th, 2022. I'm your host, JD from New York, and this is Off The Script. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys also go and check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. There is plenty of content for you guys there all week with the Raw and the NXT and the AEW and SmackDown stuff. There's extras thrown in. Jesse and I were live on Saturday night for AEW Battle of the Belts. We were here for about an hour and a half going over certain AEW news and rumors. We went over the show. So if you guys missed any of that, great stuff. It is all on the homepage right now, so go and check it out. Also, a little news article for you if you guys don't know. I know YouTube Shorts are a big thing on YouTube now, and I've decided to join in on the trend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you guys a link in the comment section, pinned at the very top, to the new Off The Script YouTube Shorts channel. It's called JDfromNY Shorts. On this Shorts channel, there will be clips, funny moments, highlights, random truth bombs whenever I decide to upload them. So if you guys want some small doses of the podcast in a very humorous way, make sure you guys go and subscribe to that YouTube Shorts channel. It's JDfromNY Shorts. So I decided to join in on the trend, and apparently some people tell me that's a great way to build the main channel. So I decided to go in on that, and it is live right now for all those that are interested in going over there. Also, most importantly, hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes on today's, minimum, on today's Off The Script Extra. We're going to start with Sasha Banks, guys. Sasha Banks is out 6 to 8 weeks, and Sasha Banks is a very vital part of that SmackDown women's division. Without her, it's pretty much dead. All they have is Charlotte Flair over there and basically nobody else. They don't really use anybody else. They've called up a ton of women from NXT that have just sat in catering. Toni Storm got up and quit and told them to go fuck themselves, which was a great thing. Happy to see it. Monday Night Raw is no better on the red brand. The women's division in general has been absolutely abysmal for the last couple of years. The creative has sucked. And if you're not Sasha, Becky, or Charlotte currently, Bayley's on her way back. She'll be slotted right at the top when she comes in. No doubt about it. Even Bianca Belair, she's been treated pretty decently, I would say. But if you are not a part of the elite in the women's division, WWE has no use for you. You are absolutely worthless. The women have been straddled with 2 to 3 minute matches, sometimes less than that. It's not really what I envision with the overall women's revolution. But we all know where that came from. It came from Triple H, and WWE really can't do dirty to the top stars in the division. Otherwise, they would have no division, and there would be no use for a women's division without the elite in that division. So Sasha Banks is a vital part of SmackDown. She's now reportedly out 6 to 8 weeks, and according to Fightful Select, WWE Creative was aware that Sasha Banks was not going to be available as early as January 3rd. Creative was also told the plan for Sasha Banks is to plan around her absence. So they are not booking anything creatively for Sasha Banks. Fightful Select learned that although the absence was announced on Saturday, WWE Creative were pretty clear and that Banks wouldn't be available as early as January 3rd after the injury occurred that prior weekend. Leading into that Raw, Fightful was told that Sasha Banks wasn't expected for the Royal Rumble and that creatively the company should plan accordingly. As it turns out, Banks is expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks. As the timetable indicates, she's not expected to have missed WrestleMania, but that was the relayed message to people of influence in the company as well. So it looks like she won't be missing WrestleMania, but you know she will be factored into WrestleMania plans. What plans will she be factored in? I don't know. Sasha Banks also recently sent a warning to the WWE women's locker room following her injury announcement. With her returning just before WrestleMania 38, it remains to be seen what the company will have planned for her once she returns. Listen, you guys know what I think of the women's division. Sasha Banks being out is a huge blow. They already experienced Roman being out for a week. I mean, they had to completely reshuffle plans because of COVID and Roman. They changed their day one main event. They were lucky he was back so soon. Now they have a completely different direction with the same outcome for WrestleMania. But this is how easy things can change in WWE. All it takes is one little minor thing like an injury or a COVID situation, and a brand is completely demolished. It doesn't look the same the next day. You factor that in with Jeff Hardy walking out. You factor that in with Toni Storm walking out. You factor that in with Drew McIntyre potentially needing a neck surgery. Why do we have a brand split? Is what I want to know. Why do we have a brand split? When things like this are absolutely a possibility at any given moment, why do we have a brand split? Why have you neglected the women's division? Why haven't you created new stars? Why haven't you found legit competition, or at least are in the process of finding legit competition for Roman Reigns? I don't get it. Now, why did WWE sit on this announcement for a few days? I don't know. They do what they want. They're very weird when it comes to this type of situation. But if I was a betting man, Sasha Banks is a very private person. No matter what it is, why she missed SummerSlam, we still don't know. It was supposed to be Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. Nobody knows why Sasha Banks missed SummerSlam. She just showed back up on television and was thrown right back into the fire with no explanation. No news came out about Sasha Banks. My feeling, personally, is that Sasha Banks is a very private person, and it really is nobody's business as to why she was out, and she wanted to go about it her own way, and she wanted to make sure all her bases were covered because she doesn't want to miss time. She doesn't want to miss the Royal Rumble. She doesn't want to miss WrestleMania. So she wanted to go and seek advice or a timetable from various different people, more than likely. And it was on her own accord that she told people, listen, don't announce I'm going to be out. Let me see what's going on here. Let me get a different opinion here, a different opinion there. And then she said, you know what? Go ahead and announce it. And then I'll play it up that when I come back, I'm coming after the title or yada, 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 whatever. But WWE usually does this with Sasha Banks. Every situation that Sasha Banks is in where she's out or she's injured, it is very secretive. But I'm assuming that has to do with her, and you have to respect that. But the women's division on SmackDown and Monday Night Raw is absolutely terrible. Now, I don't know who's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble. The field is atrocious. They haven't announced an Alexa Bliss or Bianca Belair or Liv Morgan or anybody like that. I think the odds-on favorite would be a Bianca Belair to get revenge back on Becky Lynch for the 26-second massacre that she suffered at SummerSlam. I mean, that is right on the table. WWE could do that. Or WWE could play up the fact that Alexa Bliss wins the Royal Rumble. God forbid. Oh, my goodness. Alexa Bliss wins the Royal Rumble. I don't know what type of character she's going to come back with, but it would be very sad if Alexa Bliss comes back with the Bray Wyatt-inspired gimmick still, with the magic and the fire and all the fucking bullshit that comes along with it. How terrible would that be? Alexa Bliss winning the Royal Rumble and going after Charlotte Flair on SmackDown? It could happen. There's a grudge there. Remember, Charlotte tore up Lily, the doll. So there could be a little storyline there. WWE may get to finish that up at WrestleMania. I don't know, man. WWE has a few ways to go about it, none of which are good, none of which I really am interested in. But, you know, the geeks online, they'll be doing backflips and jumping through rings of fire to show you their excitement over subpar television. That's what usually is the case when we get into the Rumble and going into WrestleMania season. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, listen to this one. WrestleVotes this morning tweeted out that there may be a major surprise walking through the WWE Forbidden Door with this Impact partnership, per se. Mickie James may not be the only Forbidden Door star appearing at this year's WWE Royal Rumble. WrestleVotes reported today on Monday morning that one more source noted that the belief is that WWE is trying for an unexpected, quote unquote, unexpected Forbidden Door entrance into the Men's Royal Rumble match. It was said that WWE is at least open to the idea. WWE announced Mickie James as part of the Women's Royal Rumble match, and she was announced as the Impact Knockouts champion. Now, she did retain the title over Deonna Purrazzo in a match that I watched, and I went back and watched, and I mean, I don't want to ruffle the Impact elitists' feathers, but I mean, it was WWE Carmella Zelina Vega-esque in the main event there. I mean, I know it's Mickie, I know it's Deonna, but oh my God, man, what a shit show that was, man. That was not good, especially the last 7 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, man. Botch after botch, sloppiness, no excitement. People seem disinterested. Give me a break. But they said it was a good show, so I may have to go back and watch the show that everybody's raving about this past Saturday night. But WrestleVotes tweeted, and I quote, WWE announced Mickie James as part of the Women's Royal Rumble match, and she was announced as the Impact champion. It seems unlikely that AEW would allow their wrestlers to appear on a WWE show, so it's more than likely that this is an unexpected surprise, and it would come from Impact. For what it's worth, Moose also tweeted out that he wants Roman Reigns to go through the Forbidden Door. He says, and I quote, "I claim to be the wrestling god. He claims to be the head of the table. With all this Forbidden Door talk, what if?" And then he puts a thinking face emoji and then adds Roman Reigns. This may not mean anything, but it's something to consider, especially if WWE wants another Impact star to appear on their pay-per-view at the Royal Rumble. You know, you go look at the WrestleVotes tweet, and it makes my brain hurt. It really does. You had people in this thread mentioning that MJF is a possibility to walk through the Forbidden Door, that CM Punk and MJF are going to continue their feud on WWE television. Some people were claiming Moose is going to walk through. Some people were claiming Okada is going to walk through, and they were throwing out all these different names. I mean, I don't know how dumb some people are, but clearly they have the IQ of a fucking empty carton of cereal. That's what these people do. They don't know any better, and they get caught up in the excitement of absolutely nothing. This entire Impact and WWE partnership is a fucking joke. The fact that you have Moose tweeting Roman Reigns is fucking laughable. It really is. First of all, Moose is not showing up in the Royal Rumble, and if he does, I mean, I don't think that's a good look for the Impact World Champion. And you're not on the same level as Roman Reigns. Let's be real. Come on. People are so blinded by the now. They don't realize how stupid they really are. This Impact partnership is probably a one-off. Mickie James is going to go into the Royal Rumble. I saw her calling out Charlotte Flair. WWE and Impact are pathetic. I don't get how people don't really look at the situation and kind of, shuffle through everything, man. There's an answer in there somewhere. All you people do is look at what is on the surface, and you don't have a fucking brain to come up with a solid thought. All you want to do is, oh my God, Mickie James, oh my God, Forbidden Door. I'm sitting here laughing at all of you. I don't understand how people are excited about this. I talked about this with Jesse, and I talked about this on Friday during my SmackDown post show. You do realize how pathetic this is, right? Mickie James has lost credibility, number one. As far as I'm concerned, I have no respect for her. You got people in the community sticking up for her and fucking white knighting for her. I guess these people don't live in a normal world where morals are a part of their everyday life. You do what is right and do what is wrong. Why are you going to go back on your word after an entire community stuck up for you? Why are you going to go back on your word and go to the evil empire that clearly hates fucking women's professional wrestling? Why are you going to go back to the evil empire that denied you any fucking say in building a women's division, being an integral part of the women's division, another women's pay-per-view? You had to actively leave WWE to go and do another women's pay-per-view because Bruce Prichard told you that women's wrestling sucks. Yet everybody is clamoring for Mickie James to be in the Royal Rumble because she's Impact Women's Champion. Let me tell you something, geeks. Mickie James is not winning the Royal Rumble. Now, WWE will probably stick it to people like me, and Mickie James will last 30 minutes in the Royal Rumble. That's all this is. If they had their way, Mickie James would be eliminated in 30 seconds. I don't get how people are sticking. Yeah, she could go make whatever money she wants. By all means, go and make your money. I have every fucking right to tell you what I think of the situation, and I lost respect for her. There's no amount of money that could buy self-worth and self-respect and the credibility that she had garnered from leaving the company because they sent her shit in a fucking trash bag that got a person, Mark Carrano, I'm assuming, fired. Mark Carrano was a cocksucker anyway. He did what he was told to do, and he was just as guilty as anybody else because he was taking orders from Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon. But who do you think ordered Carrano to send the fucking trash bag to Mickie James? It was Bruce Prichard, the man who doesn't really let go of grudges, he says personally on his podcast. No shit. No shit, Bruce. That's why you were fired by Stephanie McMahon in 2008, and now you're back, and now you're at a position of power right under Vince McMahon. You don't let go of grudges, you say? This is why Triple H is fired, and NXT is dead. You waited to pick your spot to kill Triple H and his fucking NXT legacy, and this is your way of getting back at Stephanie for firing you in 2008. Yes, Vince, what type of speed would you like for me to tickle your balls today? Says Bruce Prichard. Do you want the left one or the right one today? Mickie James, this is a one-off. This is a one-off. I have a lot to say about this, so you better be fucking listening. Number two, everybody that is clamoring for this Mickie James Impact fucking appearance in the Royal Rumble, how many of you people even know what Impact is? How many of you people actually put down Impact on social media? Now you're all clamoring for an Impact WWE partnership. How many people said Impact sucks? And now you're going to go and actively support Impact Wrestling, man. Everybody in the community is hypocritical. The fans are hypocritical. Nobody takes a stand and stands there. Nobody. Nobody stands on their opinion, man. They're so wishy-washy in their opinion. Not me. Not me. You know, it's also hypocritical. The fact that WWE fired Mickie James because she was 42, 43 years old, right? They let Mickie James go. We don't have any use for 42-year-old Mickie James. They bring back a Summer Rae who is 38 years old. Lita is 46. The Bellas are pushing 40. Who else is in this thing? Michelle McCool's 39. Right, who else is going to be in this thing? Alicia Fox, the legend. The legend, Alicia Fox. How old is she? Who else you going to bring in there? Who else is going to be in there? Layla? Who? Lillian? Well, Jillian. What the fuck is that? Jillian, Molly, Ollie. How many of these women are nearing 40 years old? No, but it's okay that they fired everybody for ageism, right? WWE showed their ageism. They fired Mercedes Martinez, who's well over 40, right? There's no value in Mercedes Martinez, right? They fired Taya Valkyrie, who's, 36 years old? They fired her because they deemed her too old. Are you serious? And that's just a couple. How many more people in this fucking company were fired because of their age in the last 2 years? But you people are okay with watching a Royal Rumble that has women, divas, I don't even call them wrestlers, divas, who are nearing or are well over 40 years old. No, but you were the people that claimed and cried when WWE fired everybody, but now you're turning the other cheek and you're okay with WWE filling their fucking Royal Rumble with aging women. You know, this Impact partnership wouldn't even be a thing if WWE actually built up their own fucking roster. How pathetic is it of WWE to go and use, potentially, to sell the fact or sell the aspect? Because it's not fact yet, because this is a one-off. How pathetic, how sad is it of WWE to use this Impact partnership to build around the Women's Royal Rumble or tease that some of the men roster is going to be in the Royal Rumble? You mean to tell me that you're okay with WWE having an Impact partnership with the potential of Impact wrestlers showing up on WWE television? You know what that means to me? That means to me that you are not in the camp of WWE getting better. WWE fails to create their own stars. WWE buries everybody that the fans actually like. WWE creative is absolutely the worst it's ever been. WWE fired over 200 fucking people, and somewhere in that 200 was the next star of the company, believe it or not. Talent that they could absolutely use right now, but opted to get rid of because of political reasons, burying Triple H, age, failed creative, people not refusing or not taking the blame or refusing to take the blame on anything. One of those reasons people were fired, or all of them. No, but you want WWE to use Impact superstars in the Royal Rumble when you had over 200 fucking people fired from this company that could have been much more suitable for a WWE role. There's no new stars. There's no new stars in this company, but you want Impact wrestlers in WWE. You are the fucking reason that this product sucks. Because you are the fucking people that WWE listens to. Because you are the fucking people that don't think and don't look back on what happened. And you are the fucking people that live in the now. I don't live in the fucking now. The now sucks. I want a better future. WWE has no future. They fired 200 fucking people. Most of them could have been assets to the company. How many women did WWE get rid of? Now they have to seek help from Impact and bring in Mickie James, who looks like a fucking embarrassment. WWE would have more than enough women to fill their Women's Royal Rumble if they didn't fire half the fucking roster. Oh, but it shows maturity. Oh, but it shows Mickie is now, giving WWE the benefit of the doubt, or there's been an apology thrown in there. Fuck an apology. The woman was embarrassed. Bruce Pritchard actively told her that women's wrestling doesn't sell. So here she is in WWE, where women's wrestling doesn't sell and they don't give a fuck about women's wrestling. The Forbidden Door. Who else is going to walk through the Forbidden Door? Everybody's excited about the men's Royal Rumble. Oh my God, Moose is going to walk through the Forbidden Door, or whoever else is on Impact's roster. You know who's going to walk through the fucking Forbidden Door? Matt Cardona. Guys like that. Big Cass. Rhino. That's who's going to walk through the fucking Forbidden Door. Nobody that's a champion on Impact is going to walk through the Forbidden Door on the men's side. Nobody. Why would they? Mickie James is more than enough for the women. You're going to get a Zack Ryder. And what's going to happen when Zack Ryder shows back up in WWE in the Royal Rumble? Is he going to do a skit with R-Truth? He'll be right back where he is. Broski. Long Island IZ. And he's already shed that fucking gimmick, and he's going to come back for what? To do a fucking 30-second spot in the Royal Rumble? Rhino, Big Cass. It's going to be an ex-WWE guy that really isn't doing much on Impact Television right now, and they're going to fill the Royal Rumble with that. No, but you're okay with that, though, right? Yeah, let's give Impact wrestlers opportunities and leave out a guy like a Ricochet or a Chad Gable or an Otis or any of these guys. Ali. Mustafa Ali. Yeah, let's leave off an Ali or a Dominic Dijakovic. That you refuse to change his name back to Dijakovic. You want to keep him as T-Bar. Nah, we'll give Impact guys an opportunity and leave those guys on the sidelines and not put them in the Royal Rumble. You people fucking sicken me. You really do. You absolutely fucking sicken me. This community sucks. None of you are as smart as I am, and none of you really grasp what the fuck is going on here. You live in the now. That's your fucking problem. Oh my God! You know, you're all about what happens now, second by second, minute by minute. None of you even have the fucking brain power or the capability to think a rational thought. And anytime anybody gives you a fucking opinion that is against yours, they're a racist or a sexist or fucking this or that, negative, terrible, a cancer. It's all right. It's all right. Just like all of 2021, all of 2022, I'll be right on every fucking thing I talk about. And everybody will refuse to give me credit on anything because I'm right and nobody wants me to be right. But when I'm wrong, everybody will highlight when I'm wrong. None of you will highlight when I'm right. This Impact partnership is a fucking sham. Impact is not going to benefit from this, and neither will WWE. Because if Impact benefited from the AEW thing, I'd love for someone to tell me where they benefited from it. Where did they benefit from it? Kenny Omega shows up, they got the biggest pay-per-view buy rate that they've ever done. What happened after Kenny Omega left? Right back to 80,000 weekly viewers. I get more people watching my channel than Impact on a weekly basis. So please tell me how this partnership is going to benefit Impact or WWE. Impact looks like a fucking leech because they're desperate. They got nothing to generate interest on their own because they know they're a dying fucking product with terrible management. And WWE looks pathetic because WWE can't build up new stars. They don't want to build up new stars, but they want to use Impact wrestlers. This whole thing is a fucking sham. The entire thing is a fucking sham. Give me a break. Potential spoiler on plans for Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. The WWE is contemplating switching titles on the shows, meaning the Universal title will go to Raw and the WWE title will go to Friday Night SmackDown. A wrench has been thrown into WWE's plans. This was last weekend when the company found out that Roman Reigns would not be able to wrestle at day one. But it looks like things will be getting back on track by the end of the month. Meltzer indicated that the plan for Wrestlemania was for Brock Lesnar to defend the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. So that means Brock Lesnar was going to beat Roman Reigns at day one. If that was the case, I'm glad that the plans changed and Roman got COVID and was out. Because I don't think Roman Reigns should be losing that championship. Not to Brock Lesnar, not to anybody. You've already fucking fucked up his reign by making it all about him and burying everybody else. We can at least build it up and have somebody legitimate enough, I hope. I don't think they will find that person legitimate enough to beat him and take that title off of Roman Reigns and make a new superstar. Brock Lesnar doesn't need to beat Roman Reigns. He doesn't. Meltzer stated that the path to WrestleMania has changed, but ultimately, according to a source and what the source told him, they will get back on track to what they had in mind with Lesnar defending against Roman Reigns. That could mean that Lesnar will keep the WWE Championship after beating Bobby Lashley at the Royal Rumble, and Reigns will drop the Universal title to Seth Rollins. I don't think that's a good idea at all. Rollins beating Reigns? No, thank you. No, thank you. Give me a break. Rollins was initially supposed to win the Universal Championship at day one, or the WWE title at day one, rather, and defend it at WrestleMania. If Reigns loses to Rollins, then gets it back, then it gets WWE back in the direction they wanted, but with the title swapped out. This was discussed on the Wrestling Observer Radio. So they would ruin Reigns' run because of something that was beyond his fucking control, is what I'm hearing. Yes, let's give the WWE Universal title to Seth Rollins, have him take it back to Monday Night Raw. Roman then chases Brock for the WWE title, and the WWE title goes to SmackDown. I don't like that at all. That is actively avoiding a brand split ending, which is the best case scenario for WWE plan-wise right now, to end the fucking brand split. They are doing everything to actively not use that to their advantage. And I can't stand when they avoid the best case scenario. Meltzer said, and I quote, "The plan for day one was for Seth, and he was going to be the WWE champion off that show, and Lesnar was going to be the Universal champion coming off that show. So Lesnar is now the WWE champion, so I'm wondering if they are just going to go and have Seth defend the title, or one of the titles at WrestleMania, and then Lesnar and Roman were going to get the other title match on the other night. I was kind of told it's going to end up where it's supposed to be, so I wonder if that means they're going to switch belts, like the Universal title with Seth goes to Raw, and the WWE belt that Roman would end up with most likely will go to SmackDown." Which was not the plan, but maybe how they end up recalibrating everything, because Roman missing the pay-per-view and them deciding to go with Brock to win the other title because Brock was going to win the Universal Championship. I can't say 100% that Brock was going to win the other title. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Seth, I know 100% was the plan to win the WWE Championship, but Brock had to be winning over Roman at day one because it was the second match. Roman won the first, and Heyman was going to end up with Brock. I figured that Heyman was going to screw Roman in the match, but the match never happened, and instead of waiting to do the match at the Royal Rumble, the decision was made that Paul has already been fired, and we're not going to take him off TV, so we're going to put him back with Brock right away with no storyline. He's just with Brock. I think that's how it was going to happen. I don't know if that means Seth wins, but it would make sense that it would happen, so that's kind of something there, end quote. Now, if WWE ends up swapping out the titles, then it means Seth Rollins will defend the WWE Universal Championship at Mania, likely against Lashley or Big E, and then Lesnar will defend the WWE Championship against Reigns. This would explain why, aside from Drew McIntyre being injured, Rollins was picked to get the next title shot against Reigns. None of this sounds good. Everything that I just read you from Meltzer sounds absolutely terrible. It shows no creative. It shows WWE not branching out and doing something different. It shows WWE being afraid to change things up from the norm, from the scheduled, to make it better, to make your shows better, to make WrestleMania better, and mean something a little bit more. To have fun and do something that you wouldn't be accustomed to doing. With the title matches, maybe we get a unification match. Maybe we get the winner of the Royal Rumble challenging the winner of Lesnar and Reigns on night 2 of WrestleMania. Why don't they do something different? Why do you got to stick to the plan? Sometimes the plan that you originally come up with is not the best plan. That just means WWE is comfortable in mediocrity. It means WWE is afraid to do anything that goes against the plans of Vince McMahon. Seth Rollins beating Roman Reigns is a fucking awful idea. Awful. He's had nothing to do with Roman Reigns in the last couple of years, and Roman Reigns should lose to somebody a little bit more worthwhile than Seth Rollins. It's not Seth Rollins' fault that he got fucked. Shit happens. He'll be back in the title picture soon enough. Rollins, Lashley, Big E, Kevin Owens, that spells boredom at WrestleMania for the WWE title. I don't care about any of it. There's got to be a better way. I've come up with multiple ways to make it better. We don't need the WWE Championship now on Monday Night Raw. We don't. Unification is where it's at. Reigns, Lesnar, they've already teased it on SmackDown. Both titles. The winner of that match becomes the unified champion, and the winner of the Royal Rumble challenges the unified champion on night 2 of WrestleMania. That is exciting to me. That is different. That's WWE thinking outside the box. That is WWE going outside their comfort zone. WWE is going to stick to the plan, and they're going to stick to being mediocre. Like I said, WrestleMania is the worst show of the entire year because WWE doesn't get creative. They only bank on WrestleMania in name alone. Guys, I'm getting out of here. If you enjoyed today's Off The Script Extra, let me know what you guys think down below. If you found any truth in this, hit that thumbs up. Like I said, a minimum of 1,000 likes today on OTS Extra, and I will see you guys back live tonight in the venue for Monday Night Raw and the Monday Night Raw post show right here on Off The Script. Until then, guys, I'll see you tonight for Monday Night Raw.